Holi by Pujya Babuji Maharaj. Tomorrow is the day of Holi festival. This is a great participation in colors and gulal revelries. The enthusiasm of the participants might have started from today itself. But brother, who are these? They are the people whose temperament is inclined towards play. But brother, has it ever happened that some others who don't participate are the persons whose inclination is mostly towards it, and their onlookers or bystanders are also charmed by the colorful form it offers? I think that it would certainly be so, but to whom? Those who are admirers of color. If our inclination does not admire it,
Vivek, you will
then
just what?
yes,
Vivek, 1 minute.
yeah,
The for Dheeraj, the idea of color means everything of this world. I mean, we are attracted to people, we are attracted to power, we are attracted to politicians. Everything of this world, uh, you're emotionally attached to any politics or any job or money or or any idea
hmm,
connected with the world is has to be taken as color actually.
hmm,
Okay, we'll
correct,
go. Yeah, including our wife, children, our society, our
yeah,
religion, caste, everything is color only. Yeah.
correct. I mean, yeah, the lens through which we see everything, basically,
No, no, no. We believe
or
that
our
this
belief
world,
about things. Yeah, yeah,
no, we believe that this world, which is nothing but a prolonged dream, we feel that it is real, and we are attracted by the world, which is actually a reflection of God. The reality is God behind that.
hmm,
So, so he says, onlookers also, they have also all got interest in this world, which is the cause of the suffering actually. This is called
hmm,
samsara, no? That's the idea.
hmm,
Yeah.
correct. Um, if our inclination does not identify, that is, admire it, then we must try for it. You will say that those who have eyes to see can very well distinguish between black, yellow, blue colors, etc. I would say this, that as long as the eyes bear the power of distinction between black, yellow, blue colors, etc., which is the real aspect of the color, it cannot be called to have discrimination, that is, real knowledge about colors. So long as there is variety in inclination, one does not give due respect to color. Now, brother, I am unable to comprehend as to whether the holy comes to get the colors distinguished, or is it the manifestation of his craftsmanship? You may decide it yourself. If you ask me, then my brief reply to it would be that one must become colorless while playing with colors. Now, if somehow I too get affected by the colors of Holi, then my reply to it would be part peasant and part partridge, a mixture of coherence and incoherence, like that of a drunkard. What shall that be? The meaning of whole, which is an English word, is total, because E has been prefixed to it. It is called an adjective according to the Persian grammar. It therefore means that if we have linked ourselves to the whole, that is ultimate, then certainly the same view should appear before vision. It therefore follows or proves that if we got ourselves linked to the ultimate, then the color of the same ultimate shall paripasu prevail in us. And if perchance we become unaware of that link by maintaining it repeatedly, then please tell me what would be your form or shape thereafter. The same state of mergence which we are in search of. What a good thing it would it be we learn this lesson from Holi. I'll
So
take a
can you tell
pause
me,
here.
Vivek, क्या समझे आप इसके ये आर्टिकल की वजह से? What did you understand? What is asking us to learn lesson from Holi?
Yes, sir.
What does he expect us as his students to learn from this festival of Holi?
So not very clear, sir, because I maybe need to read it once again. When he says that we should become colorless while playing with colors,
Hmm.
but if we get affected by it, then his reply would be to be part pheasant and part partridge,
No,
which is a
he is talking, this is about himself. Uh, so when he is merged in infinite, now if somehow I too get affected by the colors, he is already a realized person, totally absorbed in infinite actually. Then
uh-huh.
my reply to it would be part present, part partridge,
Hmm.
mixture of coherence and incoherence. बोले तो I, I am not ऐसा करके वो I mean the और एक
Hmm.
सेमिनार भी करे थे ना
Uh-huh.
यू एग्जिस्ट और यू डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट करके वो दिल्ली सेमिनार का वो ऐसा
Yeah.
सिचुएशन रहता you are in the world but you are also not in the world, something like that.
Hmm.
You do not know whether you are existing or God is existing in your place. You're totally in an absorbed state.
Hmm.
Anyway, the idea is, he says, if you the color means if you feel the world is real, you're caught in a samsara. That means you're trapped in it. You will be suffering. So the world is a reflection of God. Reality is God behind the manifestation. Uh, like he says, Holy, does he come to manifest the color? Earlier sentence है ना, or he
Hmm.
asking
Yeah.
us to develop discrimination.
Correct.
So manifestation is asking us to look who is manifesting it. So if you keep on meditating and you merge in the absolute, then he says you wherever you look, you find God only. Then the color is lost. The whole
Hmm.
world becomes colorless. Whatever. I mean, like when he uses the word senses become summarized. When the senses are not working, senses are resting in the soul itself. The world doesn't appear. Like in deep sleep, the world doesn't appear to you. No, like
Hmm.
when we are meditating, when we are lost in the object of meditation, we are not conscious of our body, time, or surrounding. Kuch pata nahi lagta. World doesn't exist at that time.
Hmm.
World only exists when you look at it. When you're involved with the world, you world comes into existence. But when
Hmm.
you're looking at God, the world doesn't come into existence. So, but when you're merged in that absolute, then wherever you look, you find God only. That's the idea.
Hmm.
So if we can learn that lesson from Holi, what good thing it would be if we learn this lesson from Holi.
Yeah.
We have to read again and again. So then
Yes,
we'll.
sir.
Voice was breaking, so
Yeah, you can read, sir. It's okay.
I will read now. So,
Yeah.
will you please give me a chance to congratulate you on the occasion of Holi? Brother, it was merely a fun joke of Holi. And what else can I do? Whatever has been my nature, a tint, fragrance of it is still present. And what is that condition? In rural language, I would say this: whether I be standing, sitting, lying down, or in any pose whatsoever, I'm always at the same point, the base. That means the base or the destination must never go out of our mind. So here is the point when in our system we talk about Sahaja Samadhi. That means you develop Layavastha in God, and in the background you're always aware of the presence of God, and you do your activities in the world with that awareness. Like a master, you'll be working, so they don't form any impressions on you, just like a person in the dream. uh, Many of the dreams, they don't affect you at all. Or a drunkard, if he's done any mistake, when he becomes aware, he is not conscious of it. In the same way, that is the aim of Babuji's system, that you should reach a stage of Sahaja Samadhi where your inwardly your mind is totally settled in God. Externally, you're doing your activities as the situation demands in a state of moderation. That means the base or destination must never go out of our mind. We must ever keep our base in mind. That means always, like third commandment, fix up your goal, which should be complete one. Rest not till the goal is achieved. The destination can only be arrived at by him who has become crazy and mad after it. Mind you, he is telling you can only be arrived. He is not giving you any chance here. I mean, half-hearted attempts will not succeed. I do not find any other method better than this. Whoever has made progress in this field has adopted this very course. Whoever becomes mad after someone, then it is just not possible that the latter's madness may not make him, the former, restless. That means if you're mad after God, God has to become restless. Here the famous Kabir saying, I will take rest only when God runs after me. He says, when God says, Kabir, Kabir, I will take rest. When, when Hari starts thinking of Babuji, also in one of the talks to Denmark, he says, you should meditate till when God remembers you, till that time you have to meditate. Brother, when pain is there, the cure would also come. We have to create pain in our heart. If someone asks me, I would say that all the labor practices and abhyas is aimed at this only, to create pain so that the pain will attract God. Will that time come when I will also be able to see such burning hearts? So it's his aspiration to see such burning hearts. Definitely it must come. When you develop feeling like mine, that is when you become eagerly impatient to acquire all those states which I am restless to impart now. Brother, it may be possible with my love for you that the restless craving for my master may bear fruit and create similar intensity in your heart. If a woman whose husband is alive, then she wishes that the latter may also become like her. What else could you get from me except this? You take this thing from me and the rest will be bestowed by God, by the master. Next page. Can you just lift it? Reality is not a thing to be perceived through physical organs or senses, but can only be realized in the innermost core of the heart. That's this thing.
Yeah.
I think this is a seminar paper. Sir का एक talk है इसके.
Tell me if you guys can hear me.
Talk
Yeah.
delivered in February 2008
Yeah, I can hear.
on the occasion of the seminar,
Perfect.
One Must Become Colorless While Playing with Colors, printed in Bodhayanti Parasparam Volume 8, Chapter 1.
The topic of the seminar is drawn from the article Holi. This statement of the Master is in fact informing us an aspect of the nature of Master. All Masters and all ordinary beings are nothing but their one mind, one may even call the original show in expression. We may for all our purposes consider this mind as beginningless and endless, unborn and indestructible, as at any point of experience or imperience we do not seem to be away from it. Though in the metaphysics that Master gives us, this is not so. It has no color or shape. It neither exists nor does not exist. It is neither old nor new, neither long nor short, not large or not small, since it includes and also transcends all measures, limits, names, conceptions, and comparisons. It is what we see in front of us all the time. The universal mind, I mean. Holi is a festival of colors, when there is a great participation in colors and connected revelries. Master states, the persons who engage in this revelry are those whose temperament is inclined towards bliss. Most people are interested in externalities and play is an act dealing with external things, situations and people. There are good plays and bad plays, and each one of them is played by the persons of such temperament. There are also mutual conflicts and appreciations and confabulations varying in degree according to the level of persons in transaction. These persons are never tired of playing, and Holi is a time when their play reaches a pinnacle of excitement. We may say it is mostly the Rajasic temperament of a group of persons in full swing. Those who do not participate in this merry activity we may think are detached and sattvic, but Master states these bystanders are also charmed by the colorful forum the play offers. Perhaps they engage in the play in a vicarious manner, and the play is enjoyed in the mental sphere as contrasted to the physical plane in which it is played. It is similar to the viewers of TV or those who are in the stands of cricket stadium watching the game. Undoubtedly these persons are very much involved and excited in the game even as the actual players. We are having amongst us persons who belong to the playful temperament and the so-called involved or detached observers. That speaks of their viveka and the level of their frivolous activities. But all these activities are colored, and they may be orange, yellow, blue, black, etc. So long as a person has not moved out of the Pindidesh, that person will play these colors and colorful activities. It is to be noted that the mind along with the faculties of perception are involved in these activities. Master states that as long as the eyes bear the power of distinction between black, yellow, blue colors, etc., which is the real aspect of the color, it, in the brackets are right eye, cannot be called to have discrimination or real knowledge about colors. This we know as the discrepancy of perception. So long as there is a variety in inclination, one does not give due respect to color. Revered Babuji raises a question here saying, I am unable to comprehend as to whether the Holi comes to get the colors distinguished or is it the manifestation of his craftsmanship. And he says to the Abhyasi to whom this letter was sent, you may decide it yourself. The point is, are we celebrating the beauty of the craftsmanship of God or just engaged in silly color mudslinging at each other? Master in the message given on the centenary celebrations of Revered Lalaji Maharaj says that purity starts from being and impurities are the result of wrong suggestions and improper utilization of the inner environment. When all these are combined, a narrowness of view is affected, and this is one of the factors for creating a sort of confusion, sometimes automatically and sometimes forced by circumstances. When all these things are accumulated, they bring different colors. This affects the lower part of the mind, which gives direction to the higher part. Now your direction is not correct. When we contemplate on these lines, we understand how we see things in our own choice of colors. Every one of us has his own pair of colored glasses.
Can you hear now?
It is only when we can control and moderate the impulses of the lower mind, we can be said to have moved out of the range of the pair of glasses, prejudices. The task requires, as we all know, our individual efforts and the influence of pranahuti received from the trainer. Master states that whether I be standing, sitting, lying down or any pose whatsoever, I am always at the same point, the base. He therefore suggests that while one may be engaged in the festivities, one should be in touch with the base. He says that means the base or the destination must never go out of our mind. We must ever keep our base in mind. The destination can only be arrived at by him who has become crazy and mad after it. I do not find any other method better than this. Whoever has made progress in this field has adopted this very pose. Whoever becomes mad after someone, then it is just not possible that the latter's madness may not make him, the former, restless. When pain is there, the cure would also come. We have to create pain in our heart. If someone asks me, I would say that all the labor, practices and abhyas is aimed at this only. Will that time come when I will also be able to see such burning hearts? Definitely, it must come. When you develop feelings like mine, that is when you become eagerly impatient to acquire all those states which I am restless to impart now. I am very sure that many amongst us here in this august gathering have been restless to acquire higher states of consciousness and continue to acquire still higher states and moving nearer to the never-ending state of negation, even as a seeker to whom this letter was addressed by the Master. For the question as to how one should be in the realm of colors, he said his brief reply to it would be that one must become colorless while playing with colors. We know that the realm of Pindadesh is that of colors, and that of the regions beyond is colorlessness. Holi is the festival of colors and is connected with Lord Krishna. The Lord is supposed to have participated in that festival with gusto. Colorfulness is a product of our mind. Master states that the simple unassuming character of mind has changed the march of times and has assumed a colorful disposition and begun to shed its effect on everything in us, both outer and inner. Whatever, therefore, we take into thought or action exhibits colorfulness in all its phases. However, we know that we are all involved in the process of developing the unity of perception and living according to the principles of the natural path. Master states that the most peculiar feature of our society is that when it is in full bloom, it is all covered over with a desolateness, which further on gets transformed into wilderness. For this reason, it is devoid of any charm or attraction. If I describe it as something pleasant, it will then be tasteless one. How can a professed seeker of eternal bliss, Paramananda, who is addicted to coloration, at each step be attracted towards it? This condition can be appreciated only by one who, having gone mad with love, wanders about wailing and crying for what he knows not. In such a state, one would be feeling the same condition even though he happened to be amidst festivities and revelries. As for myself, wherever I happen to be, the entire surroundings there are covered over with an air of desolation on account of my presence there. A humorist might well interpret it in funny ways, but perhaps that alone can be the most appropriate description of my condition. Really, the thing at the root gets exposed when the colorful disposition of the mind is transformed. When the material world is out of view, the thought naturally settles down on the other one. But this colorless of mind may not be much appreciable to most people, except to those who have become accustomed to it through constant association. Should we therefore take for granted to have such a condition because of our alleged association with him, or because we coo his name very often, and more particularly when we see his photographs? It is obvious that constant association with him would be possible and true to those who have gone beyond the Pindadesh, and when we go on and on through different conditions, casting off for assumed coloring, till finally we become quite colorless. It should be remembered, of the four colors of the first four cards is what is mentioned here by the Master. Master further states, now if somehow I too get affected by the colors of the Holi, then my reply to it would be part peasant and part partridge, a mixture of coherence and incoherence like that of a drunkard. If we have linked ourselves to the whole, then certainly the same view should appear before our vision. It therefore follows that if we get ourselves linked to the ultimate, then the color of the same ultimate shall pari passu prevail in us, and if perchance we become unaware of that link by maintaining it repeatedly, then please tell me what would be your form or share thereafter, the same state of mergence which we are in search of? What a good thing it would be if we learn this lesson from Holi? It may be mentioned that there is a story relating to the festival Holi. It appears that the legendary Hiranyakashipu had a sister by name Holika. She has a siddhi by which she can sit on the fire and remain unburnt. As a part of the various tactics used by the Asura to kill his son Prahlada, he asked his sister to hold his son on her lap and sit on fire, hoping that his son will get burned and there will be no damage to his sister. But Prahlada survived and Holika got burnt. The festival is celebrated to reassure that one who has surrendered cannot be destroyed by Asuric persons like Holika. It may be seen here that the element of fire, which refers to the third knot, and control over that is a siddhi due to devotion, can be burnt. But the one who has surrendered to the divine, that is the person established in the fourth knot, will survive the element of fire and move on to the realm of air. The value of a diamond is well known, and justifiably we from Andhra Pradesh can take pride in stating that Golconda is the place where we have found the first big diamond. We all know that it is not the color of the diamond that grants its value, but its colorlessness. In fact, grading color in the normal range involves deciding how closely a stone's body color approaches colorlessness. A diamond can divide light into a spectrum of colors and reflect this light as colorful flashes called fire. It is persons who have entrenched deeply in the superconsciousness of the highest variety that emit or fire colors according to the need of the aspirants in their system in the centers related to the various colors. It may be said, even as the colorlessness of the diamond gives rise to the range of the colors, the non-conscious consciousness grants us various shades of consciousness and colors in our march to infinity. Colors play extraordinary tricks on the mind. Play with the colors in the context of spirituality is bound to be an interesting study by itself. Black is associated with Sufis and goddess Kali, orange with sadhus and sannyasis, white with Jains, nuns and Christian preachers, yellow with robes of Lord Krishna himself, ash with Lord Shiva, blue with Mahavishnu, and so on. This should be enough indication for those who seek colorlessness to avoid the association of these men and demigods and gods. It is obvious that the polar opposite of positive mystical color imagery is colorlessness. Color is a characteristic of the individual, where colorlessness is a characteristic of the universal. This is the obvious for us. As we transcend the realm of Pindadesh, we enter into the realms of colorlessness, though certain times the individuality of the sadhaka persists and we have visions colored with pink or ruby. We find that human civilization has always programmed happiness through sexual freedom and drugs and drinks, including the Vedic Soma, which are supposed to create feelings of euphoria. Scent and color objects and music provide momentary pictures on our mind, exciting virtual and unreal and imaginary visions. That is the reason why many persons indulge in colors. Selection of garments is a classic example where those who are interested in colors indulge in excitement and never end that game. That is perhaps the reason why those who are seeking colorlessness eschew bright primary color imagery in favor of dull hues which border on colorlessness. It is because of this criteria of colorlessness of the spiritual plane, application of religious thought in this plane becomes virtually impossible. Spiritual societies therefore forbid noise, including that of music, as the members seek silence. Silence is the auditory version of colorlessness. We may recall that Master forbade all music during celebrations, except at the end the recital of Marifat, a song in praise of revered Lalaji Maharaj for having given us a Master who is a personification of love. He is silence, which is always emitting the colorlessness of spiritual presence. Anyone who tries to get into such a state of silence all on his own will never find the way towards that. The aspirant has to learn that he or she has to put a full stop to the conceptual thinking to which one is accustomed to, and it is then the Master appears in the scene, his presence being felt as eloquent silence. That is a state when the consciousness pure and simple reigns, As we all know, during the deep states of meditation, when neither we nor he is there, that is Sri Ramchandra consciousness, it is then, whether it is our state or his state, does not matter, and it is all the same, and that is laya or mergence. It is when we are inspired by the great purpose of the Master, who is laboring hard to bring in transformation of the human nature and partake in that extraordinary project, all our personal and selfish and self-centered thoughts break their bounds. Dormant forces, faculties and talents become alive, and we discover ourselves to be a greater person by far than we ever dreamed ourselves to be. It is true, even then adverse circumstances test our courage, our strength of mind, and the depth of our conviction in the dharma propounded by the great Master Sri Ramchandraji Maharaj of Shahjahanpur, India. There is nothing exceptional about practicing this path of dharma in a good environment and atmosphere. The true test is if we can maintain our practice in adverse conditions. That is possible when we are totally colorless in an otherwise colorful atmosphere. Being colorless when we remain firmly committed to the faultless path of the Master. 2. Take refuge at the feet of the incomparable One. 3. Take refuge in the ocean of bliss of the gracious One. We are rewarded with a long and joyous life of dedication to the noblest cause that the Master cherishes and humanity yearns for. Master states that Satyapada itself is a science for which one may not be well fitted unless he develops the capacity to perceive nature with his inner eye. We know that the inner eye gets vision from the heart, while physical eyes feed the mind with all its colors. It is the colorlessness that the heart knows. The natural path is lighted by such colorlessness of the heart. Broader the spread of such inner light, the nobler are the visions. That is what meditation on light without luminosity grants, and that is wisdom. Such is reward and destiny by following the principle, one must become colorless while playing with colors. Pranam.
Okay, if any questions,